This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the S.P.R.I.N.G formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Lucia Mitro, and let me tell you a little bit about her. She is known as the metaphysical counselor. That's what she's known as. That's what she does. So she was born in a beautiful little village in Slovakia, the name of which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce, even though I myself am 1/4 Slovak. My grandfather came from, his parents came from Slovakia, so I have some cultural awareness of that element of the family. Now, she was always sensitive to the feelings of others, and this gift was in direct conflict with the communist regime she was raised under. Consequently, Lucia learned to deny and hide her abilities. She came to the United States, lived through the stressful time of being an immigrant married to an abusive man. Learning her lessons, she now devotes her life to empowering her clients while guiding them to reach an understanding of their own magnificent abilities and enlightens the minds of those who struggle to find their way. She reaches out to children as well as adults to help them on their journey into timelessness. There's more you can learn about her. You can find it on her website post at brilliancepluspassion.com if you are not already there. Lucia Mitro, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's truly an honor for me to join you here and help to spread the world.
Absolutely. First question, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and society at large?
Well, my motto is find your light and make it timeless. I guide my clients to help them to find and to better their health, find more joy and happiness in their lives. That comes to light, and then to use their tools with the knowledge to build up and leave a legacy for someone else. So that's for find your light, make it timeless.
Right. What is it exactly that you do?
Well, as you stated, I am a metaphysical counselor. I work in with alternative medicines, different niches, different forms of alternative medicine, as for example, energy healing. I help to heal the clients with the help of energy, usually on distance. And then I help them through the counseling to find what actually stopping them, what gifts they have, what brings them joy, what brings them happiness in the life. And then I also do a soul connections, meaning I connect the client with their loved ones, with soul of the loved ones there on another side or even here. And because I believe that happy people will spread the happiness with others. So, like they said, only hurt people hurt people. I'm trying to help them to heal it
Right.
so they can spread their happiness.
Healed people heal people. Happy people make other people happy. I follow. So,
Exactly.
in your experience, what are the 3 most common questions people ask you when they're discovering more about you? What are the FAQs?
Well, it changed a lot during the past 10 years, but my first common questions were how does it work? And my answer is, I don't know. I don't need to know how this computer or this phone or this application work, each part of that to make it work. I just
Yeah.
need to use it as a tool. So I don't know how it works, but it works.
Right.
And then another question that I was getting is, well, why God allowed this? Especially now with the COVID and what we've been through, people asking why it allowed. Well, God didn't, has nothing to do with that. God gave us a free will, and He lets us to choose what we are going through. So whatever is happening right now, it was our choosing, and it was a tool again to better our lives.
Yeah.
And the third question, what I could, why I struggle so much, why my life is so horrible. But even by asking that question, you are attracting this, inviting that in your life.
Yeah.
So we go through your thinking and your surroundings and how you see yourself
Uh-huh.
to answer the question.
There's a practical thing we see this a lot in entrepreneurship is most entrepreneurs have debt, probably more than they're willing to even think about. One form of dealing with it is to, and the primary way to fix it, of course, is to focus on raising your revenues. Just raise revenues, make a lot of money, write the check, pay it off. And that's really the solution to it. So, candidly, that's correct. However, then they walk through because sometimes their cash flow runs short. They got these credit card balances that they're being eaten alive by interest, or they have that loan that's coming due and they don't know how they're going to be able to pay it. Yet another person has come offering them the $25,000 solution to all their life's programs if they just join their mastermind. And they can't do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can say, well, just ignore that, right? Another way of looking at it is understand it, because chances are when you really understand how those numbers work, it's not nearly as bad as you think it is. That was my pleasant discovery when I went through this. And use that energy to focus on what you will experience in forms of joy and opportunity once you solve it. And that'll keep you away from the worry and more toward the, oh, $30,000. Well, I just need 10 clients. So I'll go get 10 clients. It's done.
Bingo. And the
Yes.
other thing is people always go after the the newest and the
Uh-huh.
best what is there, and oh, this guy is making money on this one. Find out who you are and what's work for you,
Yeah.
because there's no one fit all sizes.
Right,
Find
right.
out.
Even in your industry, it's the same way. There are many folks who do the
Oh,
work that you do, and it's more than just the check boxes. I mean, your many gifts are very unique to you, and they're going to resonate with your people. And you have the profound ability, due to your understanding of the human mind and human emotion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, let's move on. What are 3 questions you wish prospective clients would ask you?
um, well, the first one, I think, what I would like to people stop by and think about that when they to ask me why I do not want to know their symptoms.
Yeah.
And I usually get really shocked. Clients are shocked when I said, no, 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 don't tell me your symptoms, because these are your symptoms. This is not a core of your problem. Let me figure out the core of the problem, and I promise you the symptoms will go away.
I follow that.
Um, so that's the first for them to understand why I don't want to know the symptoms.
Yeah.
Another kind of questions for my clients, I would love them to know that they are not stuck with me forever.
Right.
um, I read once, I work to be unemployed. And first,
Yes.
it's kind of,
That's
I was
funny.
like,
Yeah.
I got that fear in me right away. What, unemployed? But if you really sit and be with that statement, that's exactly what I want to be. I'm not
Yeah.
here to hold your hand through all your life. I'm here to give you tools so you can use them to go yourself through your life so I can move on another person.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I said. I work to be unemployed. Um, and another things is the same thing. They clients usually ask me is, or I would love them to know that I take each person as they are. I do not
Uh-huh.
have a one model that fits all.
Yeah.
I use different approach every session with different person. Every even healing session is different.
Yeah.
So it's not, I actually tested it. I had like 3,000 people in one session, and each person had a different experience. So that's when I knew it works.
Yeah. Two quick points about this because it's interesting. I've heard that phrase before. You work to become unemployed. A
Mhm.
few years ago, I went through a bad breakup, and who hasn't had one? If you've never had a
Uh,
relationship, you've never had a breakup. So now there are some models that would have had me go on a 12-month program where I would go through a whole series of counseling steps, and at some point they would probably try and find medications for me to take and everything else. I went and saw a hypnotherapist. One session, I'm over it. It really does work. Now, here's the other piece about that. That problem solved. And the power I gained through that caused me to recognize other areas I could improve. So it actually created more business because I kept going back for other things. Now, that's not because something was wrong with me. And this is another thing I want to clear up real quick for folks who are listening to this. Somebody who works with you is not necessarily doing it because there's something wrong or something broken. It's because
Absolutely.
they are embracing their power to improve, to move forward, to elevate. And by the work that you do, it helps them do that. Now let's shift gears in the last few minutes we have here, and let's do a bit of a lightning round and have some fun. What would folks who know you be surprised to learn about you?
I'm normal. I was at the working at the marketing conference actually, and the person who knew me for 3 days there approached me, and he's like, "So what exactly do you do?" So I gave him more details in what I do, and he looked at me with the stone face on him, and he's like, "But you are normal."
Yeah,
So I would like to, always shock people when I actually tell them what I do because it's normal for me. So um, another thing, I'm not positive all the time. People will tell me, "You are so positive, you are so
hmm
happy." No, no, I've been on the floor and crying my eyes out. It's life. We go through the changes and we go through the stuff. So I'm not always positive, but I find the beauty in everything. Even if the negative stuff that's happening to me, it's a lesson. I look at that and I'm like, okay, what can I learn from that? And
exactly,
how
exactly.
can I turn it?
Yeah,
I've been suicidal almost all my childhood and
uh-huh.
part of my adult.
Yeah.
And no, I do not know the winning lottery tickets
Okay,
number. Winning
that's a
lottery.
good one. That would actually be under one of those should ask questions. But
Yeah.
let's move on here because we're running out of time. What do people what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I will come to her funeral.
Okay.
uh, I would um, love to hear people saying that I help them better their life to the point that they would take the trip to come to my funeral.
Wow.
So,
That's a very unique answer to that question, let me tell you. All right. So the next thing is what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And what questions would you ask them if you had the opportunity?
Nikola Tesla. Absolutely, without a doubt, Nikola
Ah,
Tesla. I would love to know what he really knew. Now so he can speak freely,
yeah.
without being afraid of ridiculeness and everything else that he endured all his life. How
Uh-huh.
he connected to all of this genius, like what he actually knew. Nikola Tesla.
Wow. I like him too. He's a cool dude. What motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Results
Okay.
of my work. When I see a child who experience seeing ghosts or seeing the spirits that was afraid of her own shadow, playing happily, running through the playground and being just a normal kid, having the normal childhood. Seeing a lady who was giving 3 months of life, walking her dogs 5 years later.
Yeah.
Seeing mother who refused to eat because she wanted to join her deceased child, dancing and smiling. Yeah,
Wow.
that's get me out of the bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to do the healing session.
That's something. That's something. And finally, and I know that there's a link that you want us to share with the audience, and I will do that for you. Before we do that, in general, right now, what is one action that you would want our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to this?
Be in a quiet time for 20 minutes. Get your time of the quiet time every day for at least 20, 30 minutes. Be with yourself. Listen.
That's something. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And before you go, I know there's something that you want to share with our viewers. So I encourage everybody to go to your website. It's at www.luciamitro.com. For those who are out jogging, I'll spell it for you. LuciaMitro.com. On there, you're going to find some great resources that will help you understand this work further. Lucia probably has one of the most interesting blogs I've ever seen in the world, full of great stuff. So I encourage you to check that out. And you'll also get to discover more about how metaphysical counseling and energy healing works for you. So with that, Lucia Mitro, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Thank you very, very much. It's my honor. It's my honor and pleasure to meet you, my Slovak friend.
Yeah. Okay. So
thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.